So this topic, puppy training ourselves, has been on my mind for the last, let's say, week or so. Some of you may know that Becky and I both had 2 dogs for quite a long time, and the last one just passed away 2 months ago. And we've been letting our hearts heal. Still working on that. But we finally got to the place where we felt like we're ready. We're ready. So that readiness also brought with it the reality that, wow, new dogs are going to have training. We're going to have to do some puppy training, even if it's a puppy or whether it's a 2-year-old. We're going to have to, tell it where to sleep and show it how to use the doggy door and where to go potty and all those things. So it's been really heavy on my mind. Not heavy, wrong word. It's just been present on my mind. When I picked this topic, I had absolutely no idea yet that I was going to have a live prop for it. Becky and Bodie, will you come and say hi?
Oh, Becky?
Becky and Bodie, will you come and say hi? Beck. She's out probably teaching the puppy how to put.
Got to tinkle in the right place.
She was going to be there sooner or later, so as soon as she gets, I will introduce you. I thought, how perfect that we got a puppy Friday night. And I thought it was so synchronistic that this was my topic before that even happened. Are you back there? Somebody's back. There she is. Come here.
Baby.
She's coming. So come on up here and everybody say hi all at once. Meet Bodie. She's a little girl. She's named Bodie after the Bodhi tree where Buddha had his enlightenment experience. That kind of Bodhi. This is little Bodie. We got her Friday night. So we are in the throes of some serious puppy training. She is 4 months old. We didn't know we were going to get a dog this young. That's our little Bodie. So I said, oh, how perfect that we have a live prop. She's so young that we don't want to leave her home alone yet. We're just, yeah. And we're trying to teach her all the things that we teach a dog. So if you've ever trained a dog before, like the number one thing is where are they going to go potty? Which is what we were trying to do. So, every time we see any little hint of she's going to go into that position, we pick her up and take her out to the grass, and we are teaching her this is where you go potty. The good thing is that there's been dogs before her who have marked the grass for her to smell. Oh, and so I think she's going to learn this pretty fast. She's going to learn it pretty quick, but that's the first thing. She has to learn where to sleep because she's been in a shelter. And so it's like, where do I sleep and how long do I sleep? And teaching her just all kinds of things. So the puppy training is a very real thing in our life right now. We have to teach her that when she goes for something like this to chew on, that we replace it with this instead. So replacement is a lot of puppy training as well, right? No punishment, no anger, just take this away and give her this. Can y'all see what that is? The bone that I've got? Teach her, this is appropriate. Luckily she hasn't gone for this yet. But giving her this kind of thing. So we replace it. And being very careful with our words. Going to put her on Jesse's lap there. So consistency with the words. Like if she's going to jump, are we going to say off or are we going to say down? Things like that. So the key for any kind of teaching a dog is the idea about consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Puppy training ourselves likewise. So I want you right now to just think that you are a puppy. No matter how old you are, no matter how worldly you think you are, no matter how trained you think you are, you're a puppy. I can look over here and Pat Santos will tell me that's easy. Right? Think of yourself as a puppy because we're just like that. Anytime we're going to change our minds, anybody find that to be easy? Change our thoughts, change our behaviors, change any actions that we do. That same thing is important for us to be consistent. bringing our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions into alignment with what we say we want. Because what happens with us humans is we say this wonderful prayer, we do our treatments and our affirmations, stating and claiming that this is what my life is about. My life experience is fill in the blank. Peaceful, harmonious relationships, abundance. And then our thoughts and our actions sometimes do the opposite. Just like a puppy, we put her on a little grassy spot. This is where we're going to go potty, and she just wants to run over here and do what she wants to do because she's a baby and everything is excited. If you can take your mind to that place where I'm a puppy mind and I want to make some changes and I'm going towards this, but I've got to be consistent with my own thoughts and my own actions, keeping that in front of me all the time. I have a quote that I came up with recently that says, if you want something to be so, you must affirm it so. Now, that's just taking words of Ernest Holmes that you hear all the time and putting it into my own little thing. If you want something to be so, you must affirm it so. And we must affirm it so before it is so. That's where a lot of people get hung up. We make an affirmation and people say, well, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's not like that. But we want to affirm it before we get there. So the minute we picked up that beautiful little puppy, we had already planted our seeds that it was going to be, puppy training was going to be graceful. Puppy training was going to be fun. And so if we can do that same thing with our own mind, let this be graceful. I'm going to make this change. I'm heading in this direction. I'm affirming that it is so that it can become so. You've heard affirmation before, but this is all about the consistency. You're saying that, but are you doing that? You're saying this in your prayer, but are you thinking that? Do you tell the practitioner after service, I really would like a more abundant living this. But then as soon as you walk out of here, someone says, you want to go to lunch? And you say, I can't afford it. That's what I'm getting at. We do that. I really want to see this happen. I want a harmonious relationship. And then you find yourself saying, oh, but all men or women filling your own blank are jerks. Or love is hard. Or things like that. So that's what I mean. Consistent. I want this. I'm going to keep my mind, my thoughts, my heart, my feeling, and my actions in alignment with what I say I want, because it's too easy to wander off of the grassy spot where you're supposed to go potty. So if we want something to be so, we must affirm that it is so. In this philosophy, have you ever heard the word mind? Okay, not a real question, right? You hear the word mind all the time. But I want to talk about it a little bit, and I want to make a clear differentiation between how we use the word mind and how common society uses the word mind. When we talk about mind, we are not just talking about our brain. If you're fairly new to this, that's a first premise to get in your head. We're not just meaning the brain up here. Our brain is a wonderful organ, and it takes care of lots and lots of functions, and I'm so grateful my brain tells my stomach what to do so I don't have to think about it. I'm so grateful that my brain is managing all my impulses and my movements. It just does that. Thank you very much, brain. But our mind is the mind of God, individualized as each one of us. And our mind cannot be localized in our skull. So it's a new way of looking at a word for some of you. Mind, we're talking about awareness, we're talking about consciousness, we're talking about thought, we're talking about intuition, we're talking about feeling, we're talking about wisdom. Sometimes my mind tells me what to do. This is where my mind often feels like it's coming from, is right here. My mind is telling me. So when we talk about the mind, we're not just talking about the brain, okay? You clear on that?
Yep.
Are you clear on that?
Yes.
Some of you aren't. Some of you are in class and I hear the confusion. Okay, stay very clear about that. Now there's a man named Dr. Joe Dispenza. How many of you have read Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Woohoo!
Woohoo, a few, okay, good. So he talks about it a little bit differently, but this man has written some beautiful books. One of them called The Biology of Belief, and one of them called You Are the Placebo. He was also in a movie that we've shown a number of years back called What the Bleep Do We Know? The bleep is all those little symbols, what the bleep do we know? Now he does refer to the brain, and he says our brain cannot differentiate between something real or imagined. I'm going to tweak it. Our brain cannot distinguish or differentiate between something tangible and imagined. Because the word real, for me, for how I teach the word real, that's a shift of a word too.